What is going on, mountain biking ladies? I hope y'all are having a good day today. Today we're going to be talking about foot placement on the pedal and why it matters, why it's important for us to think about this, and how it actually plays a role into how we can utilize our muscles and actually activate different ones for us. So this is especially important for those that want to use more than just your quads, who want to actually engage more of your hamstrings, the back of your thigh muscle, and your glutes, your butt muscles, and kind of even out how you are using those muscles for pushing your pedal down. This is especially key for those who have flats, but it's also important for those who have clip-ins, cleats. And because you can change those a little bit. You can change your position with flats a little bit better, obviously, because I can go from all the way heel on the pedal. You guys might see better that. So heel on the pedal, or all the way to toes on the pedal through here. With a cleat, you can only change it so far in your little notch, but same principles can apply for it. So I'm stoked to talk about it. Who here has ever thought about their foot placement on your pedal and whether you need to be more toes forward or heel on there? You ever thought about that? Which one may be more right and or which one may be different in how it helps you? Have you ever thought about that? How they can play such a role? I tried to bounce this on there earlier. Oh, I just got it. We'll wait for people to pop on through that. I think we have several people watching on here right now. Have you ever thought about that? Whether you need to get more toes on the pedal or heel on the pedal. Something that I actually change up depending on how I'm riding and also depending on if I'm getting tired or not. So before we go over what is right in this regard, I want everybody, if you can, let's stand up. And I want you to put your toes on the ground. So I want you to get where your toes are more on the ground and you're more weighted forward. And I want you to do a squat. And then I want you to go more heels on the ground, more weighted through there. And I want you to do a squat. Can you feel the difference in those two? Can you feel which muscles you use in different ways? So one is where we weight more on our toes through here. And by the way, I'm about 30 weeks pregnant, so if you didn't know, that's what's going on here. So toes on the ground, a little bit more. Your heels are offloaded a little bit. Now I want you to do that squat. And then I want you to offload your toes, kind of lift them up a little bit. And now I want you to do that squat there. Can you feel a difference in how you move? Can you feel a difference in what muscles you work? Most times you can. Anybody know which way that you actually use more of your hamstrings and your glutes? A lot of times it's what we've been told to do in the gym. We've been told to dig your heels in to do the squats. And that will trigger in more of your posterior chain. Yeah. Melissa, heels. Yes. Got several people popping in for heels now. It's exactly right. And so as we talk about on the bike, and as we want to apply more and use more of our different muscles, as we want to use our full leg that we drag along with us everywhere, we might as well use that can decrease our knee pain potentially, that can decrease our ankle pain, decrease our back pain. We might as well, right? We might as well use all of what we can. Now, as we come back to our pedal in our foot or our shoe, do I want to go all the way like this? Probably not. Probably not, because we lose our balance. Part of what our foot on the pedal is that it's our balance. It's one of our connection points of the bike. And so if we're all the way on our heels over the middle part of the pedal, then I lose a lot of balance control with that. And so we don't want to go just straight heel on the pedal. But that lovely midfoot is a great place to be. If I go more toes on here, which is where you are if you have clip-ins, you're going to be more on the ball of your foot. That's going to make you be more quad heavy. Also, as we change where our foot is on the pedal, forward or back, it may change where our saddle needs to be, forward or back. Because if you also think about it, if I move towards more of a midfoot position here, then it's going to change how I feel when I'm climbing. I might not like my saddle position anymore if I'm trying to drive and pedal more midfoot through here. Another thing that you might want to think about as you transition to more of a midfoot position is your arch support. So a lot of our shoes, the more mountain biking specific shoes that you have, they're really stiff. It's for a reason. It's because we don't want to feel the pedal underneath of us as we're climbing. We want to support our foot through that. Our foot is made to be malleable. It's made to conform. And so there's so many different bones and joints and everything in our foot to conform to different surfaces. It's the reason why walking on sand we can do that, why we can walk on grass outside, is that we can conform to that surface, excuse me, and push off of it. Well, I don't want to feel the pedal as I'm riding, as I'm climbing all day long, because that's going to put a lot of stress in my foot. It can potentially cause numbness. It can potentially cause other foot issues, arch issues. And so you may want to think about potentially an arch support in here as you're riding, and or if you're not riding with mountain biking specific shoes, there's so many different ones out there. These are 510 Pros. I tend to like these ones because they're a little bit more narrow than the regular 510s. I haven't tried Ride Concepts or some of the other different brands that are out there. I found one that worked and I stayed with it. And so there's so many ones that are out there that you can potentially try through this. But it's the reason why we have stiff shoes. But it's also that we may need some more arch support in them to support not only our foot, but also our knees and our hips and up the chain as we go. And so as you're pedaling more midfoot, we're going to put more pressure on our arch. As you pedal more toe heavy down, again, it's going to make you use your quads a little bit more. And so we may not like that as much, or it may put pressure on your knees. And so scooching that guy more midfoot may be good for that. But also, as we pedal more toe heavy or more on the ball of our foot, we put more pressure on the ball of our foot instead of our midfoot, which we can support with a little bit of arch support. The ball of our foot is right up through here. We have a lot of nerves that go down into our toes in that region. And so if I'm always on that part, think about wearing high heels. You can mash and put a lot of pressure on the ball of your foot, and it probably doesn't feel that great. Well, there's actually another arch that we have up there called our transverse arch. So this is my foot, because lifting my foot up is really hard when I'm 30 weeks pregnant. And so as we have our hand, just even you can hold up your hand and you can see there's an arch that runs across here. In our foot, it's the same thing. And so we have a lovely arch that goes across here. We may want to support that as well. It's called your transverse arch, as I talked about it, and you can put a metatarsal pad that's in the middle of that. It doesn't have to be big, just small little guy, and it helps to support that arch. The reason why it's important to support that arch through there is that our digital nerves that come up into our toes, they run through this part of our foot. And so if we smash the ball of our foot constantly with each pedal stroke, or as we're riding downhill, they probably won't like it. That's where some neuromas can form. It's like balled up parts of the nerves that can cause firing of the nerve spastically and sporadically. It can also just be pinching the nerves. And let's be honest, no nerve likes to get pinched at all. Has anybody ever felt these things? Anybody ever felt numbness in their feet when they're riding? Numbness in their feet can also be caused by issues up the chain, aka in our low back or in our glute area. And so if you have any numbness in your feet, definitely look at shoe stuff. But if you need to, look up the chain into more of your glutes and also more of your low back, because it could be an issue that's away from actually where you feel what's going on. And you may just not think about that being an effect of it. So, to recap, to get more of your glutes to work, to get more of your hamstrings to work, we want to be more midfoot with our foot on the pedal. We don't want to go straight heel unless we're climbing and we're really wanting to target other different muscles, like our hamstrings. You can get a really good pull as you're coming around and really dive that heel in. And sometimes I'll do that just to work a separate group of muscles as I'm climbing. Am I going to go downhill riding like that? Definitely not. Do I want to go more on the ball of my foot? If I'm wanting to gain some power from my quads, then I can shift in and go more toe down. Do I want to do it constantly? No, because it's going to put more pressure on that ball of your foot, that transverse arch. It'll also make you overuse your quads and underuse your hamstrings and your glutes. And so making sure the magic place is more midfoot. And it also gives you more balance as you're standing up on the pedal, front and back, to be able to shift and move your foot and your ankle to help support it as well. One thing that also happens whenever we are more toes on the pedal is that we will use more of our calf. And we can develop different Achilles issues. This back here, and potentially some heel pain as we are riding. And so shifting forward, your foot on the pedal will offload your Achilles tendon and make you not use your calf quite as much. And so you'll actually be able to utilize more of the chain as well for that. Any questions with this as thinking about where your foot is on here? It's why we always say for the cleats to push them down as far as you can in that position, because you are going to be more on the ball of your foot. Also, cleats or clip-in shoes are even more stiff than flats because they need to be to support the rest of your foot, to support the rest of your arch as you are pedaling through that. And so play around with it. See if you can tell the difference as you're riding next time you go out as to where your foot is on the pedal. If you have knee issues, or if you have where you're not able to engage and use more of your hamstring or your glutes, almost go a little bit more extreme as you're climbing and see what that feels like. See if you can feel the difference of your foot being a little bit more back. Now, this isn't where I want you to stay. I want you to be more midfoot with that. But see if you can tell that it changes how you utilize your legs and the muscles that are there. It should change that positioning. Also note, as I said earlier, you may want to change your saddle forward and back depending on changing this guy, because it will make a difference in how you feel with the height or moving it forward or back. I love little tips and tricks like this because you don't have to change a whole lot. You don't have to do a whole lot except for shift your foot. And it's saved me a couple times as I've climbed. I'm like, getting a little twinge in my knee here and there. Let me shift my foot forward, and I'm going to really start pulling my foot up and underneath me, and I'm going to utilize my hamstrings a whole lot better. All right, y'all, I hope this has been super, super helpful, and I hope that you check it out and let me know what you think next time. Have a fantastic night. Bye, y'all.